Hello everyone.
Hello.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Tali.
And we are the Lazy Book Lovers. We are a podcast for book lovers who procrastinate about reading and have never-ending TB read piles.
Today is episode 69, and as a big grown-up with my own children, I decided we should do smutty books. So that is what we're doing today. So originally, me and Tony discussed that we would do like a Smuttok episode, but honestly I did such a in-depth one before. Instead, I've picked out all the Smuttok books that are on my TBR.
Okay.
So I thought that'd be good.
Yeah.
And I've got 20.
Nice.
So
as long as the word milking doesn't appear this time.
No, I've already read that one.
We'll be fine.
But that series no, that series isn't on it. I'm up to date with all of her books.
Yeah. So I've got a blog coming out in like next week or the week after. We're in like early March when we're recording.
Yeah.
I've got a blog coming out that's just Smuttok memes.
Oh,
like smut book
I'm
reader
looking forward
memes.
to that.
Yeah. Although it took some researching though, because Pinterest doesn't like the word smart.
No, I can't imagine it does.
So it took a bit of finding the right words to find them.
Yes. Spicy.
And spicy books. It was like romance readers, and then everything that came up was smart. And I was like, there we go.
That's just the romance now. And today we don't have baby Tali. We are attempting no baby.
It's weird.
Which feels weird.
It's weird though. She's been here really either inside or out of you since January last year.
Because we are aware that we do talk over a lot and through her, and it's not great for people listening, so we're trialing this.
We're trying it.
Hopefully this goes okay. I feel a little bit sick, but it's fine. Right. Let's talk about smut. Okay, so I actually realised that a lot of smutty books on my list are series as well.
Oh dear.
And who'd have thought that smutty books are in series mostly? Or maybe I just enjoy committing to too many
Are they all
books.
like the kind where it's like standalone but same universe or something?
Some of them, yeah.
I've noticed that's a theme.
Yeah, which is quite cool. So some of these you've probably heard of and are probably on your list. I don't think any of them are ones you've read though, and some of them I may have mentioned before. So the first one is Haunting Adeline. Have you read that, or that's
on my
list?
list? But I'm like, I don't know, I see really mixed feelings about Haunting Adeline.
This isn't like the order in which I want to read them. It's just the order they're in on my story graph, which you can follow mine and Tony's story graph by going to our card. So this is by H.D. Carlton. It's the first in the Cat and Mouse duet, which I know you don't like them being called duet, but there we go.
It's duology. Why do we hate the word duology? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's a duet? A duet is not a thing. A duet is simultaneous.
Do you know what? I looked it up to see if it can be used in books, and no, it is duology.
It's just a weird trend.
Yeah, duet is mostly for music and stuff.
And there's two people singing at once.
Yeah. Haunting Adeline. So I see this a lot. I think this was probably one of the first Smuttok books that I came across when I first joined BookTok.
I see really mixed opinions on this.
Yeah.
Have you got plot summary?
Yeah, and I'll do the trigger warnings. So this book ends on a cliffhanger. It is a dark romance that contains graphic violence, dub non-con, and deals with subject matters such as child trafficking, abuse and sacrifice. If you have any triggers at all, this may not be the story for you. Hence why it's probably hit or miss for people.
Well, I've seen a lot of people being like, this is just straight up like a rape scene redressed.
Oh really? Maybe I might not enjoy it then.
Yeah, it's what one of the TikToks that I've seen was. She's literally saying no, and then next scene comes back for more. So
dub non-con,
So that's what that means.
And that's usually when I'm reading fanfic, I usually stop reading the ones like that. So I don't know, this is loosely on my TBR thing.
Yeah.
So it's got the manipulator. I can manipulate the emotions of anyone who lets me. I will make you hurt, make you cry, make you laugh and sigh. But my words don't affect him, especially not when I plead for him to leave. He's always there watching and waiting, and I can never look away. Not when I want him to come closer. Oh, is this the one where he's a bit of a stalker as well?
Yeah, he like leaves flowers for her in her apartment, and
I think I'd have to be in the right headspace to give this one a try. The shadow, I didn't mean to fall in love, but now I have. I can't stay away. I'm mesmerised by her smile, by her eyes, and the way she moves, the way she undresses. I'll keep watching and waiting until I can make her mine. And once she is, I'll never let her go, not even when she begs me to. This is giving me You vibes.
Yeah, You. I haven't actually seen You, but I know there's loads of sex scenes in that, isn't there?
Yeah, there's not going to be any in the new series because now he's married. He said he doesn't feel comfortable. I love him, and
I love how he never cause sometimes you get people who play dodgy characters who try to justify their behaviour, and he's just like, no, he's a psycho.
He was literally
Straight
like,
psycho.
after the first series came out in interviews, he was literally like, what is wrong with people? Why are they finding him attractive? Yeah. Did you watch Gossip Girl?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've been hesitant to start it because everyone's of the ending. Because I went through this with Pretty Little Liars. It was really good, and then the ending's crap, and everyone's just telling you like the ending's crap, and then I got there and I was like, ah.
The ending is crap, but
Yeah.
Gossip Girl is good.
Okay.
I think Gossip Girl is another one for that list of like where the TV show is better than the books, like Vampire Diaries. But yeah, it's basically his character from Gossip Girl all grown up. So. Right, the next one is I want to read the rest of the series that started with The Dragon's Bride.
Yeah.
Obviously, I read that. I do have a review somewhere and reading wrap up in one of our episodes. So this is a Deal with a Demon series, and the premise of it is at the beginning, the demon collects, I think it's 5 women from our world who sign a contract to agree to marry a creature from his world, and they just have to be married for a year. Or they don't even have to marry, I don't think, actually. They just have to live with that creature for a year.
Right.
Nothing sexual has to happen. But the idea is hopefully they fall in love and have children, because in this world, the human bloodline has run out and they need the human bloodline to make the creature stronger, something like that.
Okay.
So the first one followed a dragon with 2 penises.
Oh, I think I remember the episode that's in then. I think it's The Tail Does Get Involved, that episode.
Yeah.
So go look for that title.
And the second one, which I'm shocked I haven't read yet, The Kraken Sacrifice, because I love tentacles and krakens, as you will find out in this episode.
Is there a common theme?
So I need to read the second one, which is the Kraken one. This is by Katie Robert, who you may know from Neon Gods, and she's got some more series.
I never realised she was the same person until you explicitly told me the other week or month.
Yeah, she's got loads of series, but she also does that Wicked Villains one, which is like the Disney villains reimagined in sexual circumstances.
What, like Hooked and all them?
No,
okay.
It's different series, but Hooked is on my list.
Yeah.
So this one is Catalina only made her deal with the demon because she had nowhere else to go. The world has kicked her every chance it got, so she's all too happy to leave the realm she knows behind. What's the worst that can happen? She doesn't anticipate being auctioned away to a kraken. Oh yeah, that's how they get picked, they get auctioned. Thane is cold and distant, but he's not unkind. Isolated as they are, Catalina finds herself seeking his company again and again. And when she finally agrees to uphold her portion of the bargain, that's when things get really interesting. Tentacles.
Tentacles.
So we're gonna do. It's not all monster and fantasy stuff. We do have a couple of contemporary romances. So I've mentioned this series thousands of times. Why the heck haven't I read it? Get a Life, Chloe Brown, The Brown Sisters by Tali.
Yes. I remember, but for the new people.
I don't know why I haven't read this yet. So it's a trilogy following the Brown sisters, and each book follows one of the sisters. They're kind of standalone, but they obviously they're all about the sisters. They all follow different tropes, which we love.
I love a little bit of just being completely honest and just like, we are this is the trope.
Yeah. The first one in the series is called Get Life, Chloe Brown. Chloe Brown is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, a plan and a list. After almost, but not quite, dying, she's come up with a list of directives to help her get a life. Says she wants to enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorbike, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. But it's not easy being bad, even when you've written out step-by-step guidelines. What Chloe needs is a teacher, and she knows just the man for the job. Redford Red Morgan. With tattoos and a motorbike, Red is the perfect helper in her mission to rebel. But as they spend more time together, Chloe realises there's much more to him than his tough exterior implies. Soon she's left wanting more from him than she ever expected. If I remember right, I think he's like a secret artist, and he doesn't show anyone his art, and
so he's a bad boy with feelings.
Yeah, each of the sisters, well, the sisters are black, and Chloe's plus size, and obviously has disability rep, and and the second one, take a hint, Danny Brown. That's Grumpy Sunshine, but she's the Grumpy and he's the Sunshine, which is my favourite version of that.
Golden Retriever boy.
And the third one is actual age Eve Brown, and that's Grumpy Sunshine with him the Grump and she's the Sunshine. So yeah, and the second one is also fake dating.
I love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shit.
Yeah, just eat it up. No.
One of my friends has recently read Love Hypothesis.
That's literally next on my list. I love Hypothesis.
Because that has fake dating, doesn't it?
Yeah, by Ali Hazelwood. Not sure why I haven't read this. I need to read.
You really need to. You will love it. You will genuinely love it.
And it's the first in her STEMinist series. Apparently,
it does rely a bit too much on the miscommunication trope, which is
not.
Sometimes I find frustrating. But it's not too overdone to make you hate the book.
Yeah, and like everyone who loves it is outright, look, it's written badly, it is fan fiction. All of the women are teeny tiny and all of the men are big. But apparently it's just fun.
Yeah, it is just fun.
So,
like, don't take it too seriously, it's just an enjoyable book.
Yeah. So she's got the third one coming out soon. They all follow different tropes, and then she also has a spin-off STEMinist.
But they are all women in STEM. So
yeah.
We are walking a teeny tiny feminist road.
Yeah. Hence the STEMinist, which I really like that word. Mm-hmm. Oh, so if you don't know, we've mentioned this loads of times. So Love Hypothesis is about, well, you've actually read it, but it's about Olive and Adam, and she is a PhD student and he's a PhD teaching assistant.
He runs his own lab. He's a PI. And or whatever the American equivalent of that word is. I just know the English word for that.
And she is, I don't know if it's explicitly said, but I think she's like autistic coded maybe, and she doesn't quite get social norms or whatever. I don't know if that's true.
No, I wouldn't have said
I might be thinking of a different book.
Yeah, basically she's just quite naive. She lost her mum really young and has kind of been on her own, and went into this field of research for her mum because it's into the cancer that her mum passed away from.
Okay.
And
what, there's like backstory?
I know, it's actually like because obviously I work for a biology company and this is biology labs, so I was like, I know those words. When she was talking about stuff, I was like, this sounds accurate to me, because she actually is.
I'm not a scientist, but this sounds accurate.
The author is formerly like a lab student. Like she's got a PhD, I believe, because she has an afterword where she explains it, getting some academia PTSD off her chest as well through these books. Her friend, basically, it all happens, the fake dating happens because Olive's best friend fancies the pants off of someone that Olive went on one date with and it didn't work out, but this friend is trying to be like, girl code, I respect it, but they're like clearly meant to be, and Olive's just like, right, I'm gonna fix this. So she tells her friend that she's on a date but goes to the lab instead,
of course. But
then her friend turns up at the lab, and so Olive's like, oh shit, I need to
kiss a random guy,
reinforce this lie. So she kisses some random guy in the corridor who just happens to be the really, really scary PI guy that everyone's afraid of.
Is it Grumpy Sunshine? The wrong way round, because I like
it's kind of well done in this.
Okay. I mean, it's not that I hate it, it's just my preference is the woman being grumpy.
Some of it is a bit more, she's naive and a bit immature, so it's a bit, the dynamic is that kind of teacher-student dynamic still.
But they're not technically.
No, he doesn't lead her lab, which is why
we're
it's
like
okay.
with the finger even though the mic can't see us.
Yes, so he's not the leader of her lab.
Yeah.
He leads a different lab, so this
they
is
are
why.
Both adults. He's not actually in a position of power with her.
No. He might be he could have been the one, so when they present their PhD theses, it has to be defended in front of people. I can't remember what the proper word for that is, but they have to defend it in front of a board of people, and he could have been on her board of people.
Okay.
But as soon as the faculty find out he's in a relationship, they would just not put him on the board.
Yeah.
Which is good, really, because he's well known for destroying people's theses.
Yeah.
So she was like, I didn't want you on my board anyway, so...
Hashtag winning.
So basically, and then to reinforce this lie of this person she's kissed to her friend, to make her friend date this guy, she comes to this professor and says, like, okay, basically I need you to do me a favour. I need us to fake date, so my friend will date my other friend, who I went out with once, and I know they're going to be like happily ever after. She was like, I need to make this happen.
We just need to fake date until they date.
And he was like, well, what the fuck is in it for me? And she was like, you tell me. And basically he keeps getting his grants from the university withdrawn because they think he's a flight risk. So they think, because he's like a superstar, like, research person. Yeah. These are all the wrong words.
He's like superstar intelligent.
Like, he's like top of his field. He's been courted by a bunch of other universities to go work there in their labs. And so his university has basically concluded he's a flight risk and is withholding some of his grant money.
Okay, so if they think he's grounded with a girlfriend.
Yeah, so that's why he's like, alright, I'm going to date you, so they think I'm in a serious relationship and have no intention of leaving this city.
Oh, but then they can't do a short relationship because then they'll be like absolute flight risk.
So it needed to look like serious.
Oh, okay, that sounds fun. Why have I not picked this up?
And then so what they do, they decide to go on a weekly coffee date in the faculty coffee shop. That's their public date once a week, which is like before both of them have activities on Wednesday morning, so they know they'll get seen by loads of people. And then they were like, and then we're not going to see each other outside of that. But of course they do. And then he gets really interested in her research. He thinks she's actually dead clever, but he doesn't use his connections to help her out. He just kind of is like, I'll review stuff for you if you like. And she's like, well, no, because then everyone hates you and I'll have an advantage over everyone. And he's like, so?
Use it.
And there's just kind of flirty tension. And then they go to a science conference where she's been selected to present. But the reason she was selected to present is because one of his skeevy friends has been skeeving on her. And this friend tries to take that victory away from her, and then big Professor Man is like, why are you crying, why are you upset? And she won't tell him, and then he's like, protector mode, and then it goes
like,
from
I big man, and she's like, a small girl.
I'm a small girl, I need help. And then that's when things kind of kick off. There's a review on my blog if
I've read the bonus scene. I've read the bonus scene. I've not read the book, which is their first intimate scene from his point of view. I've read that.
Yeah. No, I've read the book because it's from her point of view in the book.
Yeah. So I read the bonus scene, but I did not read the book yet. Because of course I did. Right, next one. This is the second one in the Dark Morn universe. The third one hasn't come out yet. I have read the first one. I don't know if I spoke about it. It's called Lord of Eternal Night was the first one. Second one's called King of Immortal Tiff. What's that? The
Tithe?
I always read it in Fae books. You know when they bring the...
Yeah, that's Tithe.
Tithe, yeah. I did think that, but then I don't... And this is by Ben Alderson. So they're all standalones. So the first one was a Beauty and the Beast retelling.
Nice.
With a vampire and a witch.
Oh, I like that.
And that was really good. Oh, they're all male as well. So this one is a Hades and Persephone retelling, which we all know is much sexier than the real story. So King of Immortal Tithe is a complete male standalone novel inspired by Hades' Persephone, but if Hades fell in love with Persephone's brother instead. So human Arlo Grey will do anything to fend off the sickness that longs to destroy him, to uphold the promise he made to his parents, ensuring the protection of his sister from the world and its dangers, especially if the dangers come in the form of elves from a realm beyond that of the human world. An elf, Fainir Evelina, is scorned for the murder of his family, forced by the bitter queen to partake in the choosing. We all know what that is. He discovers a single person who can resist the deadly grace of his touch. It has been many years since the vampiric disease spread wildly across Darkmourn, making humans a rarity, and protection from the undead comes at a cost, one that Arlo is forced to pay when he is stolen by the Prince of Death. There's going to be sex in it. So, yeah. I love Ben Alderson's writing, and if you follow him on TikTok, he's brilliant. The next one is from a series called Leviathan Fitness. So it is it's a monster gym, and it's about people who meet at the gym.
I was definitely going to make a joke
And
about
have
fitting
sex.
these tentacles.
So the first one's called Muscles and Monsters. The second one is called Tentacles and Triathlons. The third one, which isn't out yet, is called Griffins and Games. And the fourth one is called Mantras and Minotaurs.
Oh my god, this sounds like so fun.
I know, I think it has a bit of a comedy touch to it. And the covers are like cartoon covers, which I love.
Yeah, like
the kind of covers
covers
that people pick up by mistake, thinking they're not raunchy. So Leviathan Fitness is known for monsters, muscles, and Wolven, thank you, who rescue
Wolven.
You know, I only recently, well, not recently, but I was fully an adult when I learned how to say monsters, because I always said it monsters. Yeah.
You can't even blame that on like a regional accent type issue, because we're from the same region.
I think I just watched that Monsters programme when I was a kid. Yeah, and wait, Wolven, who rescue damsels in distress. So, after a wedding cake catastrophe, local decorator Tegan finds herself being helped by a solid wall of fur and fangs named Atlas. Atlas is a name used a lot in romance books, I've noticed.
Atlas, yeah.
I think it's like an actual common name in America. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Atlas feels like, I think it's usually used as a male name, but to me it feels like a female name as well. Not that names can be gendered, but I would name a girl Atlas over a boy, I think.
Yeah, I know. I feel like it'd be like some really like cool girl, like riding my bike.
Yeah,
her name's Atlas.
I actually offered that as an option for my second child. So now you know my daughter's not called Atlas. Right. He's never met anyone like him.
My partner for that.
Yeah, he rejected all the cool names. She's never met anyone like him and finds herself enamoured by his wolfish charm. After a sweet encounter, Atlas invites her to his gym anytime she needs his cake lifting services. I'm doing eyebrows. Tegan decides that instead she wants to lift the cakes herself, so she signs up for a membership with Leviathan Fitness, determined to build her strength. Primal desires emerge as Atlas and Tegan test just how much their new love can lift. Muscles and Monsters is book one in the Leviathan Fitness series. Each book will centre around the gym and feature a different monster pairing.
I don't know. The only thing is, right, because I do go to the gym.
It's not sexy, is it?
It's not a place for romance.
And if a lot of people are having protein shakes, there's probably lots of farts going on.
Right,
well.
yeah.
But if it was a monster gym, might be different.
Might be alright.
Tentacles everywhere.
I don't know. Like, men manage to take up a lot of equipment as it is. Can you imagine if they had more limbs?
Yeah, that's so true. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm
sweating everywhere.
I don't know. I've been hit on at the gym before.
That's the worst place to
and
hit
I'm
on
just
someone.
I'm like, well, objectively, right now, I'm like red in the face. My hair is in a bun. I was like, I look like shit, and I'm being hit on here. So objectively, that's a compliment. But also, I'm red in the face in the middle of a workout.
Yeah, like I'm busy.
Or you know the one where
you smutty books.
Exactly, I'm busy. You know the piece of equipment where you do like the legs.
No.
The weighted one where it's like you're pushing.
Yeah.
So you guys can't see it. It's like where you open your legs wide and you're pushing weights. And I genuinely had some guy who like come up to me while I was on this bit of equipment, and I was like, ignore, and I was just like.
You can hear the movements.
And like looking down.
Talk to me when I'm doing
and
this, John.
No, genuinely.
Don't even make eye contact. Don't look at me.
No, genuinely, that's what I said. You know when like the thought comes out before brain gets involved. Yeah. So I'm just there, and I just looked up and went, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So what? He was coughing to get your attention.
He was like just stood like right there, looming. Because I'm a short girl as well.
A little girl, big man.
Big man looming, looking at me while I'm like. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? He was like, what? And I was like,
why are you here?
I was like, don't talk to me when I'm on this piece of equipment. Talk to no woman while she's on this piece. I genuinely said all this to a stranger.
Good.
Because I don't know, I had no filter when men are being inappropriate in public.
You don't. Like, when that person was trying to impress you with his love of his favourite male. Oh,
I'm so... I really, yeah.
You are like the grumpy character in a book.
I'm just like... I'm just awful. Especially when I used to live in Birmingham, They'd be like, I'd be like shopping. I used to like go shopping at 2 a.m. because I was an insomniac and I could. And then like some guys like follow me around the supermarket trying to hit on me at 2 a.m, and I'm like, this is not your moment.
Excuse me, I'm clearly buying ice cream.
I'm busy. Do my week shop at 2 a.m. Like leave me.
I miss those days.
Yeah. But like they used to be like, I used to have a rule that like if I'm in a safe situation, I would never use that I've got a boyfriend excuse, because the fact that they don't need to respect an imaginary man more than they respect me, and I hated that. So it's like, if I was in a safe situation, which in Tesco's surrounded by cameras and stuff, I was. So he'd like, can I have your number? And I was like, no. And he's like, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, no. He was like, are you gay? And I was like, no.
No.
And he was like, well, why don't you want my number then? And I was like, because I don't want your number.
Yeah, like, fuck off and die.
And he's like, this guy, this happened multiple times, and they just like go into like, what you're fat anyway. So
Yeah.
like, you want to be some ugly bitch anyway. And I'm like, okay, you spent 20 minutes following this ugly bitch around the supermarket. Okay.
But I have never been chatted up or hit on, so this is an experience I can't comprehend at all.
I used to get...
I can't imagine someone approaching me and chatting to me. What's that?
I used to get followed around supermarkets a lot. Oh. Because I'd go after the gyms. I'd be in my gym leggings.
It's the gym stuff.
It's the gym bum.
People can see the booty.
And then like one guy, like, because I used to cycle, and I went to like gym, and then I went to Asda, different shop, and then I went out to put myself on the bike. He was like, is this your bike? Yeah. And I was like, this purple sparkly bike? Yes.
The one I'm putting stuff on.
So you were like all like strong and stuff, and I was like,
do you even live though?
But I'm still like this, even when it's not being hit on. So I was at the train station, little shop, tangent, train station, little shop, and I was like paying, and 3 very tall men, it's a small shop, like they've been like really near me the whole time I've been shopping anyway, and I had a backpack on, and I was very aware of the backpack.
Is this that little one?
Yeah,
like
the teeny tiny one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then all 3 of them stood behind me, and then leant around me to put their stuff on the counter.
No.
And I had headphones half on, so I literally went, and the guy behind the till nearly died of laughter, because I literally very viscerally just went, can you guys back the fuck up?
Yeah.
And there was 3 very tall men who were like, they were talking, I was like, can you guys back the fuck up? And they just went completely silent and just withdrew.
Yeah,
and the guy behind the counter actually had to duck from laughing, because
men just don't, because you...
I don't think they realised that would be intimidating. I don't think it was meant to be intimidating. You don't have to worry,
because you don't have to go through life thinking about these things. You don't.
It was like 8 p.m.
You don't consider how you appear to women.
It was 8 p.m. I was on my own. I had a little backpack on. I had headphones half on, so they kind of surprised me. Because I also did the safety half headphone, so I could hear. But apparently that was... Because they just kind of like... And I was like... Oh, and like, they were all leaning around me, and I was like, oh, no,
in my personal space.
No. And instead of... I just immediately was like, back the fuck off. Tiny rage midget.
I'm a little gremlin.
But I just don't think they expect that amount of rage from someone who's so small.
It's like they've never heard of like...
With a little squeaky high-pitched voice. Anyway, back to...
Next. The summing up of this is, if you're a kraken, you can hit on me at the gym. Right. Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. I'm sure you've seen
is this the one with the skull face?
No, but yes.
Okay.
Not the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
That's a different one. But this does have a skull face in it.
Okay.
And this is the first in the Souls trilogy. I don't think the third one's out yet. So... You've probably heard Leon as a book boyfriend, because a lot of people have Leon as a book boyfriend. Leon, I earned my reputation among magicians for a reason. One wrong move and you're dead. Killer, they called me, and killing is what I'm best at. Except her, the one I was supposed to take, the one I should have killed, I didn't. The cult that almost controlled me wants her, and I'm not about to lose my new toy to them. And then Ray, I've always believed in the supernatural. Hunting for ghosts is my passion, but summoning a demon was never part of the plan. Monsters are roaming the woods, and something ancient, something evil is waking up and calling my name. I don't know who I can trust or how deep this darkness goes. Her Soul to Take is book 1 in the Souls trilogy. Although all books are interconnected, they are standalone and can be read in any order. Then a content warning: this book contains graphic sexual scenes, violence, kink/fetish content, horror elements, drug use, and depictions of hard kink/edge play. And then it also has the list of kinks and fetishes that are included. So if you go on the story graph, you can see that. So this cover, you're thinking of the Opal Rain one.
Oh, but I have seen this.
But you will have seen this,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. Was that whole list was like, this sounds like one for me.
Yeah. And then I'll skip down to the one you were thinking of, which is... Oh, hang on, have I not put it on my list? Oh, it was too obvious. I didn't even put it on my list. That's crazy. Let me just grab it, because it should be on my
Which
list.
is the one you've got that you have facing you when you sleep?
A
to stare at
Soul
you.
to Keep.
Yeah, okay.
And
maybe that's the one I...
That one.
Oh, okay, that's the one I was thinking of. Wait, they're two different things?
Yes!
Wait, what's the other one called?
By different authors.
Okay.
So this is A Soul to Keep, the first one, and this one is Her Soul to Take.
Oh, different authors,
But
different
they've both
series.
got pictures of skulls on the cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're both like ram type skulls as well. Deer or ram or whatever you want to call it. Okay.
So, I'll do A Soul to Keep, seeing as we are on that. So this is the first in the Dustwalker Bride
Can
series.
I just conjure some imagery for you guys?
Yeah.
So this is like a skull, like ram's head. So it's got big curly horns. He's got his arm like wrapped around some teeny tiny girl.
Holding.
And that faces Natalie every night that she sleeps.
Yeah, because I haven't read it yet, so I've put it on display in my bookshelf, and I'm like, hello.
In her room, and it just stares at her. There we go.
Yeah, it really does. It's like
seen this set. Carry on.
It's like one of the only books facing out because I like the cover. And this is by Opal Rain, who I recently joined her Discord, and she is such a babe. Oh, hang on. Does Opal Rain go by she, her? I think, yeah. I'm going to say they because I'm not 100% sure. I'm fairly confident it's she, her, but... So all Rhea ever wanted was freedom. Known as a harbinger of bad omens and blamed for demons eating her family, Rhea is shunned by her entire village. When the next offering is due and a monstrous dustwalker is seen heading her way, her village offers her an impossible choice: be thrown into a prison cell or allow herself to be sacrificed to the faceless monster. I'm going to stop there. Her and the monster bone, and the monster has a skull face.
You know when I think I can hear the episode title whilst recording.
Her and a monster bone.
Don't need to think about that. Sorted. Done.
So they're all standalones. So the second one's called A Soul to Heal, and the third is called A Soul to Touch. And yeah, they all have really cool covers. I can't wait
they're
to
all
get the
sort
next
of like
two.
skull faces with women.
And they're gonna bone. And speaking of Opal Rain, they actually appear twice on this list. Because I've mentioned this book before. They also have the Witchbound series. The first one is called The Witch Slayer, and it's about the dragon and the person who has the dragon.
Like a bit of dragon.
Yeah. Ruick's only goal is to kill the Dark Witch. He never expected to find himself in a White Witch's home in need of healing, or that she would be completely oblivious about his kind or her own. He intends to abandon her, a lowly witch, to her fiery fate, but he cannot ignore his blood debt after she saves him. When Amelia's cat brought home a strange flying lizard during a terrible storm, she had no idea that it was a dragon, or that he would save her from burning at the stake, only to imprison her in his lair when she saw his human face. Now she is stuck in a cave with a moody, hot-tempered and arrogant warrior, one who has killed her kind by the dozens. I think...
They're gonna bone!
I think, if I remember correctly, some boning happens when he's still a dragon.
Oh no, because I think we discussed the mechanics of is he a small dragon or a big dragon when they were doing that.
Yeah, and look at that, because I was like, well, on the cover he's a big dragon,
but we were like, is he a lizard-sized dragon during the dragon sex or not?
And I will tell you one day. One day I'll be able to answer this.
I'm sorry, I had like the worst imagery in my head. Do I share it?
Yeah, go on.
Right.
Or yes or no.
I just had this image of a tiny dragon with its like head up someone's cooch.
Cooch? Oh my god, I've not heard that for so long.
And that was the imagery that I had in my head. Was like little dragon tongue.
Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast.
I'm so interested how you've related tangent to that, but carry on.
Yeah, no, it is related. So in a lot of books they talk about. I know we are clearly not safe for work, but how they talk about hitting the cervix when they're having sex.
Yeah.
Okay? And I always thought that didn't sound great.
Wait, okay, 1 second. I'm gonna do a little speech that then editor can cut in before we talk about this.
Oh yeah.
Trigger warning for discussions of women's medical procedures, private medical procedures, parts. There we go.
When I was pregnant and they have to, I had a sweep, which is in the cervix.
Yeah.
It's not enjoyable.
No.
I mean, I know that was not a sexual situation, but no, I don't want to be hitting the cervix by a penis or by a dragon face.
You know when you get
which is where I came
your cervical cancer screen and your smear test? She was like, yours is very easy to find.
Thank you.
She's like, she's like, I don't know, is this TMI for a podcast? I don't know. I have a very healthy cervix.
We always go too far.
It's not even that very healthy. It's healthy and easy to find.
And it must have been for her to compliment it. Like, it must have been.
She was like, oh, it's right there. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
I remember when they were doing, like, I had to go for, like...
Why is she... I'm still
in the stirrups.
Yeah. Still got clamps
like,
in places.
Impressive cervix. That's a nice compliment.
And then she just carries on talking to me about my day. And I'm like... I don't know what to do with this.
When I had to go, every time I've had a cervical smear, I've had to go for the second one because of yeah. And when you do the second one, if you've got a healthy one, maybe you've never had to go for the second one.
Yeah.
When you do the second one, they have a big camera.
Oh.
And they're like, don't look for this part, and they always make you look away when they're like, because they're like, women don't.
Nobody
most
used to
people
see
don't
that.
like to see that. And then you can look when they're inside. But I mean, you can look if you want, but they're always like, most people don't want to watch this part. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I do want to see you just coming at me with a camera. So I don't want to be poked in their cervix. Is where I'm going with this. Okay.
Is that written by male authors or female authors though?
Usually female, but I'm assuming.
Have you just noticed?
Looks like a giant condom.
I love how you so she's been in this room for an hour now, right? Walked straight past. I ordered a bunch of new plants, and those boxes are in the doorway. She had to step over them, and I was like, she hasn't mentioned it. I haven't unwrapped my new plant yet. That is all the vine. Look how long it is. Look at this big boy. Total tangent.
It's like when I saw that cheetah in your plant pot after a year.
Look at this big boy.
Oh my god! Now I know where all your money goes. Oh, it's so cute.
Look at him.
Is it gonna be a plant that stays upright, or is it a dangly?
It's a dangly.
Oh, that's cool.
But this is how he came. Was like this. But it was. Right, the website said 17 inches of trail.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look like 17 inches, does it? I'm happy.
I don't know what an inch is, if I'm honest.
Inch
Can you
is
do
the
it in
length of like that bit of
centimetres?
your index finger.
Oh, okay. That looks a bit longer than that.
Because that's why we have inches used to be measured using
It's
your finger.
like the opposite of how men measure themselves in inches.
And then
like you've got more for your more bang for your buck.
If you want a foot is generally elbow to wrist, unless you're short like me. That was like the.
I thought a foot was like the stride of the king.
No, a foot can usually be measured by. I think it's either hand tip to elbow or wrist to elbow. But on most people, that's roughly a foot. Fun fact.
There we go.
Sorry, so she just noticed this giant plant I've got in the corner of my room that's still wrapped up. I actually watched your face being like, oh.
I need to.
Have you also noticed the cactus in pieces on my desk?
I did notice that. Yeah, I did.
There was an incident.
I need to take observant of my CV or whatever.
Ow!
How you've just killed your finger.
Yeah. So no, that cactus took a bit of a suicide dive off of I have really big display shelves. I've got like plant pot shelving in my windowsill, and this one, despite being on this spot for 2 years.
Was it in that gap?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, never moved. Somehow decided to take a little jump when I drew the curtain the other day.
And maybe you haven't told it you loved it recently.
I don't know, but me being me, decided to catch that cactus with my hands. You know, you just sort of instinct takes over, and I just straight up just caught a cactus.
Rubbed.
With bare hands. It's not good, guys. It's not good for you. That's why if you notice me fiddling with my hands, because they're really sore. And it's the kind of cactus with the feathery, thin spines, not big spines. And you would think better to get stabbed with little spines, but the big spines are easier because you can get them out.
The spines can come out quicker, yeah.
Yeah, whereas these little feathery ones that I'm still finding.
They're like tarantula hairs that get stuck in your... I learned that the hard way when I had a pet tarantula.
I didn't know that, but of course. That doesn't even surprise me, but I did not know you had a pet tarantula.
I did.
But it's not shocking in the slightest.
It was called Rex.
Of course it was. So that's why this cactus is in pieces.
Right.
Yeah, any tangent over.
They're usually written by women, but I assume women who have not had their cervix touched. Okay, so...
I forgot that's where we started.
Just to add a bit of a mixture of genre.
All right.
Now we're going to do a bit of sci-fi.
Oh, shake it up.
There's a huge series. I don't know if the series has a name. The first one is called... No, this isn't the first one. It's like the third one in the series, but it's the one I want to read. But I think they're all standalones. Alien Psycho by Loki Renard? Name. They say I'm crazy. They're not wrong. I'm a criminal, an outcast, a dangerous fugitive capable of anything. They must be insane to send a female human bounty hunter after me. At half my size and a fraction of my strength, she's like a lamb to the slaughter. You can't see me rolling my eyes, but with love. When she tracks me down in my icy lair, I could easily leave her to the elements, but I take pity on her. I save her life, I make her mine. She becomes my sweet human pet, my companion in the wilderness. I used to be crazy, now I'm crazy for her. But when my enemies try to hurt her, that's when I show them what a psycho really means. And he is a big blue alien.
Did I tell you about the Jennifer L. Armentrout romance that I read where there was like an alien?
No. Oh, I
it
meant
was
to bring
awful.
you those books.
What books?
The Blood and Ash. I don't think I'm going to read them, so I think I should return them.
Yeah.
I had them for a while.
I don't know where they'll go.
No.
I'll add them back into the Dragon Horde.
And the next sci-fi one is... It probably needs no description. Ice Planet Barbarians. I think I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to read the first one at least.
There was so much hype about it on TikTok. I feel like I feel obliged now.
It's on KU. There's
Kindle Unlimited.
There's 100 billion books in the series. Not really, but I think there's like 25.
I really love that it started ending up in like proper bookshops.
Oh yeah, it's got like the covers that are actually for bookshops now, hasn't it? Have you seen the subtle, you know, they usually have, well not usually, but a lot of smutty romance has the subtle covers that you can, yeah, they've got them. Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. It's about barbarians on an ice planet. And
so some human goes to the ice planet.
There's a woman gets abducted, but let me read it to you. You'd think being abducted by aliens could be the worst thing that ever happened to me, but you'd be wrong, because now the aliens are having ship trouble and they've left their cargo of human women, including me, on an ice planet. And the only native inhabitant I've met, he's big horned, blue, and really has a thing for me. So these barbarians all have a breeding kink. So that is what the series is about, because later on the human women are pregnant and stuff. I thought I'd give the first one a try.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah. So back to tentacles.
Right.
I was like, think
back to business.
This is like, I think it's like a B series, like a B movie type series, and it looks fun. So it's by Baby Harper, Bebe, Bebe, Baby.
Do you know what? I just hear that. Have you ever watched Schitt's Creek?
No.
Right, I just hear that in Maury Rose's voice, though. If anyone, so the people who have watched Schitt's Creek, you'll know what I'm talking about. Where it's like, Bebe, Bebe, where is
Harper, Bebe? And the series is called Earth Humans.
All right.
And the first one's called Mandy and the Tentacle Monster, and that was pretty much all I needed to know for this series.
That's it.
Mandy
No
is
more.
abducted by aliens and kept as a pet.
Of course.
I'm not
Why are they
reading
all
anything
pets?
more. That's it. That's all I need.
Why are the humans always pets?
It would be quite nice to have someone look after me, though.
Yeah, I guess.
And feed me and pet me and...
Fuck you.
With tentacles. Not usually what I... all of my pets are safe, just to be clear.
Okay.
Next is an author I've been dying to read, and I follow her on TikTok, and I don't know why I haven't read them yet. Lillian Lark, and she has the Monstrous Matches series. The first one is called Stalked by the Kraken.
So that's why you picked it up.
And it's about a I think it's like a matchmaking service.
Okay.
And each one follows a different monster. The first one's about a kraken.
That was all the information you looked up.
No. So I think that's all the tentacle. Oh, one more tentacle one. Right. So there's a series called, I've definitely mentioned this first book before, there's a series called Tempting Monsters by Catherine Moon, and the first book is called A Lady of Rooksgrove Manor, and it's kind of a Victorian monster romance.
Okay.
So it follows a woman who she's got no prospects. I've got no prospects.
I'm 27. I'm already a burden to my family.
No
I've
money,
no
no
prospects.
And she gets a job at Rooksgrove Manor, which is a house of ill and unusual repute.
Ooh.
There's lots of different monsters that visit it, and she ends up becoming a favourite of a lot of the monsters, and this is a I choose as well.
Nice.
And one of the monsters has tentacles. Leaving tentacles behind, let's do a couple of elves. So
let's get down. Let's get down to the important stuff.
So the series is called Married to Magic, and the first book is called A Deal with the Elf King, and this is by Elise Kova. And this is perfect for fans of A Court of Thorn and Roses. It's a standalone, so the series, they're all standalones, fantasy romance about a human girl and her marriage to the elf king. I think nothing more needs to be said, really.
No more
It's a Hades and Persephone / Beauty and the Beast.
Why is Hades and Persephone having a comeback? What's that about?
I blame Laura Olympus.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to secretly be a pet, I guess. And Hades and Persephone is kind of...
Just like the idea of being taken care of.
But I really do.
Yeah. You know that thing of, we were talking about You, the TV series.
Oh, yeah.
And it was going around on TikTok, of mums on TikTok, where she was going, does anyone not the torture, like, anyone kind of fancy a stint in the cage?
Yeah,
a few weeks, a few weeks of like sleep and being fed,
not being touched by children, not having hearing mum.
There was a bunch of women going like, any mums relating to me.
Yeah,
This is so funny. Like, maybe not like the death part, but like,
yeah,
a few weeks in the cage.
The death part. The word I hate, The Unseelie Prince.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is by Catherine Ann Kingsley, and it's the first in the Maze of Shadows series, and it is about, the second one's called The Unseelie Crown, the third one's called The Unseelie Throne, and then The Unseelie King.
I'm sensing a theme.
It is a dark fantasy, and this one, he's got that chokehold thing going on the cover as well.
Oh yeah.
The throne of Valroys is for the taking, but first he needs a queen. Still a human, of course. I skipped some bits in between, but I think that sums it up.
Oh, right. I need to show you, related tangent, I need to show you my Storygraph genres.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because dark is becoming quite a large chunk. And I was like, oh, okay.
But as in dark romance?
Well, romance gets its other chunk, but look. Adventure, darkness, tense.
Oh, I'm going to check mine out after we've done this.
Emotional is very small, and mysterious. So those are my main things: adventurous, dark, tense, and mysterious.
I like
That's my vibe, apparently. And it's all about fucking fairies.
Literally. Right.
Oh no, Cruel Prince doesn't really have any sex scenes in it. That was the first fairy series, and now I'm reading Crescent City, which does have sex
it is a
scenes
YA, so we don't want sex in it. Just
but Crescent City is not.
Okay, next one is called Serpent's Touch, and it's the first in the Serpent's Touch series by Marina Simcoe. I mean, I was kind of interested in it because of the cover. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, it is sort of an. It's got like a.
He's hooded,
a sesame hood,
topless. And he's in water, and I was hoping there'd be tentacles. Right, so
tentacle teeth.
It's called Serpent's Touch. If I'm not being touched by a serpent, what's the point?
It might just be like the end of a serpent, which is like technically one tentacle. Like if it's a serpent, then one end of him is a tentacle.
So this is it tells you about it, but I'm just going to skip to the sexy part.
Alright.
Oh, the sex part. This is a romantic fantasy. It contains graphic descriptions of intimacy and is intended for mature readers. You do not need to read the Freak Show trilogy to enjoy this. There must be a spin-off from something called the Freak Show trilogy, which I need to read now.
You need to go add that to the list.
The menagerie is filled. Oh, this must be the Freak Show thing. The menagerie is filled with fantastic animals, but I discovered that Madam captures and displays sentient beings too. Sorry, what? I don't know what any of this is about, but I will be telling you about it in a wrap-up.
Sure, read it and then tell you about it then.
So I do need to do a little shout-out because most of these have come from Chloe, aka Pisces and Paperbacks.
Yeah.
Because she has some good book suggestions. And then this one was a suggestion from Katrina. Currently her name is, she's changing it, so I don't, Imperfect Fashionista.
Yeah, you are right, I think.
But she's changing it, so I don't know. When this comes out, she might have changed it. But Stalked by the Boogeyman by Siggy Shade.
That's a great name.
I know, right? You're 99% sure that the boogeyman is visiting your bedroom at night. Every morning when you wake up, your clothes are shredded with sharp claws and has even started stealing your underwear. That's all I need to read of that. I was done. The last one is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. I've read...
Oh, that one I really wanted to read. I need to add that
Kimberly
to the
Lemming
list.
is the first in her Mead Mishaps book. I read her spin-off, which was the Mistletoe one. And then the second book's called That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. They're just fun. And I love them.
I think I wanted to read them based on the titles alone. I was like, that's it. I don't need to know anything else. I am sold.
Exactly. And also Hooked, which is by Emily McIntyre, and it's a dark Peter Pan retelling.
I read the second in her series because there's a bunch of standalones. I read Scarred, didn't I?
Yeah, and that's a Lion King?
It's apparently a Lion King retelling, which I didn't realise.
So if you go to my story graph, go to my profile, my tags, I have a tag called Smuttok, and you can see all of the books there.
And if I do my job properly, there will also be a blog with the listing. We'll find out. I haven't done it since episode 63. Yeah. So.
I would say there'll be a thing on our shop front, but the bookstore.org usually doesn't have all of the indie books, so they just don't end up there. So yeah, that is it. Have you read any of these? Do you recommend any? Do you know any tentacle stuff? Please let me know.
Yeah, just send us some tentacle recommendations.
Or just some tentacle artwork. I don't mind.
Or just like any kind of smut that doesn't involve real humans. Seems to be the theme.
I was gonna do like the history of tentacle porn, but we'll save that for another episode.
Like we're a serious podcast. The history of the genre.
I could actually we're going to do that as an episode.
Right, we're going to do it at some point. We're going to add it to the list.
So, thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, follow us. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok. There'll be uploads at some point.
We're not posting on TikTok yet, but we will.
Follow us. You can also find our website /blog, which is lazybookloverspodcast.wordpress.com.
We also have a Facebook and we have a LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, forget about them.
Yeah.
Please rate us wherever you listen to a podcast. It really helps us know if you're enjoying it. Please download, especially if you download in the first week after it's been released. That really helps us in the algorithm.
You guys have been doing good with that, because I actually checked our stats for once.
Shocked Pikachu face.
This weekend I was like, oh, not this week. Some point this week, some point.
We did it.
When did I message you? Wednesday?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Tuesday? At some point I was like, out of curiosity.
It was this
month.
month.
You guys are doing it, so thank you. Please keep doing that.
Yeah, and please share this episode with anyone you think might enjoy some Smuttok recommendations. Well, not really recommendations because I've not read them. Do you want to buddy read them with me? Let me know if you want a buddy read, Denny. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Speak to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Have a nice week.